To err is human, to forgive, divine. Perhaps no other story in the Torah brings this quote to life quite like our Parsha. Just days after experiencing the revelation at Mount Sinai and receiving the Torah, the Jewish people committed the sin of the golden calf. They erred in their counting of the 40 days that Moshe was to spend on the mountain, and panicking when he did not descend, they attempted to replace him with the golden calf. Moshe, upon seeing their sin, breaks the holy tablets he had received from God. He immediately sets about to cleanse the people from their horrific sin and destroy any vestige of their tragic mistake. Moses goes up the mountain to champion for the people's forgiveness, and his plea is answered. The Jewish people then receive the second tablets. The Talmud states, had Israel not sinned with the golden calf, they would have received only the 5 books of Moses and the book of Joshua. Why? Because as the verse says, much wisdom comes through much grief. The Midrash adds a bit of color. God said to Moses, do not be distressed over the first tablets, which contained only the 10 commandments. In the second tablets I am giving you, also halacha, midrash, and agada. On a basic level, had they not sinned, they wouldn't need the oral Torah, as they would have understood the meaning directly without need for elaboration. But in other words, to summarize, the second tablets came with the oral Torah. How amazing! The first episode of forgiveness recorded in the Torah leads to not only an amazing example of forgiveness, but the growth and goodness that can be achieved and reached after a mistake. The Hasidic masters explain that the Jewish people lacked a certain recognition or appreciation for the Torah the first time they received it. The prerequisite for receiving the Torah is this level of humility, of recognizing the greatness of the Torah as God's wisdom, an openness of the heart and mind. Our sages teach that it was only through our mistake and subsequent repentance that we achieved this level, allowing us to receive the Torah and keep it. Sometimes, to achieve the proper dose of humility and recognition, we need to make a mistake first. The lesson of the second tablets teach us that if we do make that mistake, it must serve not as a pitfall, rather a pit stop. Not as a reason to stop trying, but to try deeper and harder. And not as a sign of failure, but as a foundation for further growth and success. Indeed, in the Ark in the Holy Temple, in the Holy of Holies, we did not just keep the second tablets, but the remnants of the first ones. Evidence of our failure, but more importantly, proof of the power of forgiveness and the growth achievable with second chances. Shabbat Shalom.